True to Fumito Ueda's work on Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian is a fascinating game that portrays a heartfelt relationship between two unlikely cohorts, a nameless boy and a giant creature named Trico, who develop mutual trust, communication, and compassion against seemingly impossible odds. Their tale is a shining example of storytelling through subtle cues and shared experiences. The occasional annoyances that come from trying to force two members of different species to cooperate is part and parcel of their realistic partnership, for better and for worse. But an unshakable final act melts these grievances away, leaving you emotionally invested in the outcome of Trico and the boy's incredible journey. It begins when we find them mysteriously imprisoned in a dank cave. Though the cause of their plight remains a mystery until the end, the need to escape is immediately understood. The environment, rather than guards, stand in your way at the start. You only have direct control over the boy, and while you are free to move around, Trico is subdued by a metal collar, fractured armor, and a pair of spears lodged in his back. Your continued efforts to relieve his burden slowly but surely earn Trico's favor. In short order, he's free from his shackles, and the two of you begin your tricky escape. Trico and you are instrumental to each other's progress. It's easy for you to slip through small passageways and precisely manipulate objects to activate doors, but only Trico can leap dozens of feet into the air and reach high, out-of-the-way places. You need to rely on physical positioning and vocal commands to direct him, and there are moments that could be considered traditional combat. But you strive to escape, allowing Trico's animal instincts to kick in as he willingly crushes enemies under his feet. Success in The Last Guardian typically comes down to identifying the one object or passage in an environment that allows you to move ahead. The process of elimination as you peek around corners and climb piles of rubble in search of your next step can be taxing as you move with palpable inertia, knocking into walls and sliding across dusty stone floors in the process, both products of convincing animation that other games rarely employ. Whether by design or circumstance, the duo's initially troubled communication manifests itself throughout the first half of your journey. When Trico's involved in troubleshooting puzzles, you must endure his slow reaction times and decipher his body language during your investigation, a process that will test your patience given the game's world, dense as it is with intrusive outcrops and heavily ornamented buildings. But Trico is an impressive animal to behold, with the mannerisms of a house cat as he rests or navigates complex environments, and the temperament of a lion during occasional conflicts with magically powered sentinels. He swats and sniffs curiosities, sometimes as a hint, and other times because he's simply distracted. When he's enraged, the only way to calm him is through the solace of petting and coos. When you look into Trico's eyes as you slink out of reach to pull a lever, or when he senses something frightening, you don't see the artifice that defines most video game characters. You see an honest portrayal. As cliched as it sounds, Trico feels like a living and breathing animal, and you feel real concern when you test the limits of the environment under his heft. He is a brave beast that pulls off unthinkable stunts, feats that are equally impressive and harrowing for their inherent danger. You often come along for the ride, clinging to his plumage as he leaps high above the ground obscured by billowing fog. His appearance is nuanced and rich, with hair and feathers that move with the wind and jostle as you climb around his body. The Last Guardian is, for the most part, a totally convincing experience that draws you into the mindset of Trico and the boy. However, there are times when you're reminded that they do, in fact, inhabit a game. From beginning to end, without an option to disable it, the HUD shows you button prompts when you are in front of an interactive object. And despite handling numerous impressive scenes without a hitch, there are rare events with obvious frame rate issues. These occurrences by no means dominate the game, far from it, but they make you consider the technological lattice holding the world together when your attention should be focused on the events at hand. But beyond these moments, The Last Guardian's numerous delays and shift to PlayStation 4 have obviously paid off. Your journey is dominated by awe-inspiring architecture and natural wonder. As you weave in and out of caves and ruins, you're treated to wide views of towers and bridges that you may never visit, but they live on in your imagination as you piece together the story and the world around you. When you reach the end, your affection for Trico and sympathy for both characters blossoms. The Last Guardian is a powerful and moving experience for the ways it makes you care about its characters' masterfully executed personalities and expressions. The creature is the undeniable star of the show, exhibiting believable physicality and emotional range, but the boy is a valuable example of how to be patient and resilient when faced with unforeseen challenges. When the book closes on their story, it's not hard to open it again and begin anew. The bond you worked so hard to forge remains. And after it's all said and done, the emotions Trico elicits make you want to give him another chance, to be the patient and effective partner he truly deserves.